it's Anahata. How are you? We are going fast. And for those of you who are trying to catch up, I would just start where you're at. If this is your first day, we are on the 21-day fear detox, but we're just doing 14 days. This is 2 full weeks of assisting frequencies to remap your fear defaults and your subconscious programming via your Biowater, infusing through codes and self-mastery. And so yesterday we spoke about the difference between opinion and fact, and how a lot of us sort of make things up. Our habit is to project into the future the worst case scenario based on evidence of the past. And so today I want to talk to you in day 2, because the assisting frequency is going to help you with your emotions, to let them go and release them. And we're going to talk about a few things, but it has to do with Biowater, which I didn't really talk about when I wrote the book in 2017. So again, in the assisting frequencies group, day 2 is ready. Go check it out, read it, get your water prepared, install the code, and partake of this beautiful assisting frequency. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Go in there and read the lesson, and it'll be there for you to experience. But behind the scenes of this essence that it's going to help you through is releasing your emotions. You know, I am a certified emotion code practitioner. I no longer practice it, but you know, this was a decade ago when I got certified, and I was taking a deep dive into my emotions that I hadn't addressed over the years and my trauma. And I've come into the resonance of knowing through science and other leaders that have proven that this is fact, is that our genes regulate and degrade. So we can up level or downgrade into harmony, peace, vibrancy, you know, or downgrade into dis-ease based on the thoughts we think, the emotions we feel, because those emotions affect your protein. And guess what? Your body doesn't know the difference between what it thinks is happening and what is happening. And so when you think about what emotions are, they are records of the past. If someone calls you on the phone and they say, hello, I'm never going to call you again, goodbye, and you don't know who they are, it's like, okay, who cares? However, if someone who you have memories with does the same, you're going to be devastated, right? And so we build memories to form bonds, and those bonds get coded into our Biowater, and our body is the subconscious. And so our identities, what are we identifying with? Those are our memories. This is, you know, family bonds. You can also build bonds to your purpose and your passion. And this really helps us to stay focused and committed and willing to go the distance, because we have an emotional response associated with the person, place, thing, goal, etc. And so if emotions are records of the past and we have some trauma that we haven't worked through, a lot of us like to suppress our emotions. Well, we don't like to, we just don't want to feel them. So we just pretend they're not there. And what happens is they get already holographed into the Biowater through the moment of awareness. What is a memory? When you're experience something either very blissful or very traumatic, your body focuses in on that feeling, good or bad, and it encodes, it encapsulates, it holographically imprints on your Biowater that memory so that you can recall it again. So you're recalling your past, and that's the way you identify with who you are. It makes you feel like, oh, that's my husband, or that's my daughter. We have a history together. We've got memories. We are bonded, so to speak. And so the issue is we have these unresolved, dense emotions through trauma, even passed down. And so today's day 2 is going to help you to release those and to look at them in different ways, because the goal is to look past your past and into your future. Because if you can encode traumatic memories that keep going on default, that wreak havoc on your internal systems and downgrade your genes, you can also upregulate by what? Centering in the now, learning to master your view, things happening through you, not to you. You're no longer a victim. You have a resonance of joy because that's what you're focused on. You're not digging up the old and dwelling in that place. You're at a place of contentment or higher. And I talk about this a lot in my Rainbow Tribe. Join the rainbowtribe.com. If you want weekly mentorship, come on in. But we really talk about the fact that if you can get to a place of acceptance, contentment, and higher, that's where your head's above the water. That's where you're out of stress response and you're expanding. That's where you create. That's where you're liberating your energy and you're using it for more productive things other than discontent and lower, which is condense, which we talked about on day one. So my message is twofold. One, make sure you're not trying to catch up. If you're late to the party, you're not late. You're just where you should be. Don't try and catch up. There's no order to these days. Come on in if whatever day we're at. And whenever you see this, and join where we are. And then when we're done after the 14 days, you can loop back around to the ones you missed at the beginning. I hope that makes sense. No, to try and catch up, because these are very meaty. These are very filled. These are very divine messages coming through that you need time to digest and to implement. And you don't want to just rush through them for the sake of catching up. The second thing is if you comment inside the assisting frequency group every day for the 14 days, you'll be entered to win my book, Fear Detox, and some water bending rocks. So having said that, let's dive into the second segment and then I'll wrap up because I want to make these short and sweet. Just as you can encode, and you do, your memories of the past as emotional responses into your Biowater for future recollection, you can encode your best future by visioning the wish fulfilled. There's a beautiful ceremony that the Rainbow Tribe and I and the Master Alchemists did for visioning the wish fulfilled for 2023. It's on my YouTube channel if you'd like to check that out. But really intending from here on out to dream the wish fulfilled as if it is so, and feel those emotions as if it is so. Because here's the wild part, the final thing I want to tell you. Since your bodies don't know what is and what isn't, it just knows how it feels, and that's what is. You can actually feel into the future before it's arrived as if it is so, and then become a magnet to that desire. You can live for the future in the now, content, without looking on and dwelling in the trauma of the past. And that's the goal, to liberate that energy, that stress response, those automated, traumatic, ingrained, downgrading, dense feelings that are pulling your energy in ragged ways and running you dry. You know, it's exhausting when you're in that space. So imagine the future as if it is so. Release that trauma, honor it. But also, if your body doesn't know the difference between what's happening and what you think is happening, likewise, we create certain visions and versions of what happened. In some study, they said that most of us don't even remember accurately what happened. And I wish I knew the statistic. If you can find it, let me know. I was going to research it earlier and forgot. But I've heard it more than once that most of the memories we have aren't even accurate. They aren't. So we're not only regurgitating memories that are pulling that future into patterns that we see again and again, but it's not even our real. We didn't even really experience that. Aren't we messes? But you know what? Your mess is your medicine. Your mess is your magic. And as we expand out of this unconscious way of living without emotional intelligence, and we dive into the way emotions work, what they are, how to work with them, how to encode the future, your future will be bright. Case in point, 2 years ago today, 2 years ago yesterday, on Valentine's Day, I did a water bending ceremony for my soulmate. I was ready. I had done the work. I wanted to date myself. I was my best friend, and I was totally fine alone. And because my cup runneth over, and I was just so in the zone of just self-improvement and joy every moment. And I was like, okay, I'm ready to meet who that is, right? Who that magnetizes. And so I did a water bending ceremony. You can learn more about this in my Master Alchemist course series. I teach you in those 4 classes. There's over, oh gosh, I'd say 40 to 50, even more hours of training. By the way, the Fear Detox code, you can use Fear Detox, all uppercase, in the code area to get 25% off the Master Alchemist lifetime membership. To do that, go to masteralchemistcourse.com. Back to my story. I put the rock underneath my tongue. What is it? Well, I explain it in that series. And I visioned the wish fulfilled, not as I hope, or where is he, or I know he's out there, but as it was already so. He had his arms around me. We were on a boat. We were traveling around the world. And I couldn't see his face, but I knew it was perfect. I knew he'd been the one that I was magnetizing and waiting for all these years. And then I let go. I put the waterbending rock in water. I let it do its thing. By the way, if you want to experience this, the code for day 2 is ready for you inside the Assisting Frequency group. And wouldn't you know, it was on the day after Valentine's Day when I drank the water. And then 2 years ago tomorrow, or maybe it was today, it was within 24 hours after I drank the water. So it's probably tomorrow. There he was. I met him. And we have been traveling around the world ever since on luxury boats. And that vision of him from behind, and we're looking over, that has happened so many times I can't count. And it's like, I did the work. I transcendent of if it ever occurred, I already, look, if you want to get to a goal, it's because you want to feel better. Because you think for having it, for some reason, you're going to feel better. Now, if you can attain that feeling before you get there, haven't you already won? Yeah, you have. And also your desire desires you. You activate that vortex and it comes in crazy ways you don't need to know how. All right, guys, much love to you and yours. Go into the Assisting Frequencies group on Facebook. The link will be in the description of this video. This is supplemental video to lesson 2 for day 2. Go read that. It's different, right? I wrote this book in 2017, finally published it in 2019, I believe. And a lot has changed in 6 years, okay? So this is my way of giving you an upgraded lens to look further past the basic lesson, but the basic lesson itself is profound in and of itself, plus the code. Oh, the code. It's gonna help support you in so many ways. And I also teach you about a very simple exercise you can do to release your emotional baggage, so to speak, and think on things in ways that are productive versus destructive. Last thing I want to mention, that Biowater, when you cry, when you release something, you know, our cheeks are curved so that our tears come into our mouths. They are medicine. So when you release, tears are very complex. They can take crystallography of hieroglyphs of tears and decipher based on the resonance. Oh, this was a happy tear. This was a sad tear. This was a shocked tear. This was a desperate tear. This was an overwhelmed tear. That whatever emotion you're having has an energetic signature. I believe, and I wrote a best-selling book about it called Light Memory: An Alchemist's Guide to Waterbending. I'm just gonna get that one. Here's that one. If you're interested in the water bending stuff and putting crystals under your tongue that I have programmed to do a specific job. I believe that the tears are there to support your overcoming that, right? The vibrational asking is in the tear for it to come through and soothe you, right? To let it go, it's your medicine, so to speak. And I don't mean like grabbing your tears and drinking your tears, just, you know, as they come, if they come, go ahead and taste that, bring that in, honor that space. More on that inside the book. It doesn't talk about the tears specifically, but it talks about the importance of not suppressing your emotions so that they don't go to shadow and become burdens that you do carry around as baggage. All right, guys, much love to you and yours. Head on over there, and I hope you're having a great day. My mouse is not working. I have to use my hand. Okay, guys, much love. Talk to you soon.